For me, a big motivation is to oppose an industry with billions of budget for advertising with my modest creative abilities and throwing a spanner in their works, so to say. Also to create a much needed transparency and to inform the public. And simply because it's the right thing to do. Thank you very much. Thanks for being here. I've been attending this conference since 2015. Right now, to be on the stage seems some kind of mistake for me, but yeah, being nervous would be an understatement. But I guess most of us in this room have signed up leaving their comfort zones a long time ago in order to have some kind of positive impact for animals. So thanks everybody for that. I'm Timo. I'm a photographer and investigator and activist. Before activism, I was working mostly on fine art and corporate photography projects, but I was always missing some kind of meaning in my work. And when I became active in 2014, I shifted my professional focus and started completely new, like on a blank canvas. No, it's a blank canvas. It's like kind of, I was looking for a picture that fits what I'm saying, but actually then I noticed a blank canvas was what it was like in 2014 when I started and totally changed what I did as a photographer. So I will show now a short video as an introduction. Content warning, it's intense, but there's no direct violence against animals to be seen. Only one image of a container with dead piglets. I can raise my arm when it's coming up. The video is a joint project, and thanks so much for Angel Lugo and Adam Pedido from the Humane League for creating it.
Animals and humans need to be liberated from this destructive industry, as both are heavily exploited. We rarely get to see farmed animals in circumstances where they get to happily live out their lives. Animal agriculture is one of the most destructive and unethical industries on the planet. I started this kind of photography after I learned about the reality of factory farming and the basics of animal ethics. Visiting my first factory farm and seeing animals suffer with my own eyes was my wake-up call. I knew from that moment on I would merge my passion of creating with this important cause and advocate for them. I believe using my privilege for good is the right thing to do. Well out of our sight, animals are being bred and fattened in huge industrial facilities made of metal and concrete. One doesn't need to be an avid animal lover to feel disturbed by our ultimate domination over the defenseless being. Animals are at our mercy, made fit to the system of factory farming to meet our unnecessary demand for animal products. They are deprived of their natural behavior and basic needs. People have many misconceptions about farmed animals. We know and care so much about pet animals, about their behaviors and needs, but then believe it's okay to keep thousands of pigs in monotonous concrete pits. It's a huge blind spot I'm trying to reflect on in my work. What I'm feeling during the process of capturing these animals varies. On the one hand, I'm in a quite rational photographer mode, trying to best convey my unique experience inside these places, so that the public can get an idea of what is going on behind closed doors. But on the other hand, when looking into the eyes of these innocent beings, it can be tough not to get emotionally involved. Clearly, animals are not machines, but sentient beings who want to live, and there's always somebody looking back at me. But ultimately, all I can do for them is to tell their story. and to remind us of our compassion for others. Through my work, I'm collecting fragments of a destructive industry that operates mostly hidden to the public eye. I see it as my duty as an artist to seek truth and to inform. Animals and humans need to be liberated from this industry, as both are heavily exploited. As long as there are people out there fighting for those whose voices are not being heard, there's hope. In this way, hope is something we are creating through our actions. Hopefully, our work inspires others to demand necessary change. Thanks to everybody who is involved in activism. One day, if we are able to eliminate animal farming, our work will be important artifacts for future generations to know about a past world we never want to revisit.
What is our task as investigators? We are mostly messengers, and we have to convey our unique experience we have inside this industry to the outside, to the public that is outside. We are on the inside documenting, and we have to best convey our experience and make it relatable. That's most important, emotionally relatable to the public who don't have a chance to see the conditions firsthand. So people can get an idea what this industry is actually made of. Our credibility is vital. We comply with journalistic standards and take biosecurity measures. We record evidence and document violations. But as the law often is not a moral compass, there are many more visual stories to tell than just the legal relevant ones. To me, the industry appears like a black box behind walls and mostly in the dark. People have little idea about. I want the public to know every aspect of the industry. Oh my God. I want the public to know every aspect of the industry so they can make an informed decision about how the facilities look like from the inside, from the outside, from above. Also, what kind of tools they're using to make the animals fit the system. Another important point I want to emphasize is how should we visually represent animals. I believe in not reducing them to their human-made misery, but as capable beings with agency. Because only if we recognize them as capable beings, we will not only question the miserable conditions they're in, but also starting to question our exploitation of them at all. And why are we doing this? For me, a big motivation is to oppose an industry with billions of budget for advertising, with my modest creative abilities, and throwing a spanner in their works, so to say. Also to create a much-needed transparency and to inform the public. And simply because it's the right thing to do. But this work is not easy. It's challenging on many levels. Psychologically, physically, and often legally, but often financially as well. We work in the shadows. It's kind of a limbo, a twilight zone, for lack of a better word. The harsh contrast between everyday life and what we experience inside the industry often can be very burdening. One can easily feel isolated, even within the movement of like-minded people. These eyes have seen a lot. Burnout is real. Six years ago, my body sent me a warning signal, and I developed an autoimmune condition, leaving me with not a single hair on my whole body. Emotional stress and life challenges accumulated to what felt to me like an emotional heart attack. In this way, if we care about each other and about ourselves, at the same time we care about the movement and also about the cause that is so important to us. There's a few of my key learnings to avoid another breakdown in the future. I think it's especially for people who are leading teams, since then you will set the tone for others. Often I hear animals have it, or often I heard all those years, animals have it much worse than we are, which is very true, of course. But our own health is also part of the equation and fighting for positive change. Don't even believe your heroes if they make this kind of statement, I would suggest. I have attended many talks on conferences about self-care. That's why I think it's, I've attended many talks, but they haven't saved me from it. So I think it's vital that we include it on an NGO level, on a structural level, and that it is not solely left to the individual's responsibility. And like I said before, self-care is at the same time caring about the movement and the cause. And if you take care of yourself, that will also strengthen the movement in several ways. You will be able to fight for the animals long term. And also, if you are balanced, if you know about your boundaries, if you will be a better colleague, a better manager, better friends, and will cause less harm interpersonally. Also, not everybody is the same. We're all wonderfully different with all kinds of different needs. We have to create work structures that suit these personalities. Also, I think it's really important to nurture all different pillars in your life. Then if one breaks, the house is still stable. Supervision, of course, that's mostly relevant for this investigative part. Regular supervision after completed projects, and talking about it, not taking it home with you and leaving it with yourself, I think is also very important. But often there are so many projects, one project after the other, that there's just simply no time to reflect. Also, I try to develop a healthy distance. I'm not disappointed if not so much is happening as a result of due to my work. Of course, I try to do it as good as possible, but I cannot expect quick results. So I try to find fulfillment in the process itself. That's also, I think, that helped me a lot. Of course, our efforts will never be enough. We could also always do more. We have to choose our battles, we do what we can, and we have to play the long game. I will do my best not to break down again, much rather making my vision of the animal industry a reality. One day, if we're able to eliminate animal farming, all of our work will be important artifacts for future generations to know a past world we never want to revisit. Thank you very much.